Good Monday morning and good post-Easter Sunday. It's good to have you today. I've got a special guest with me. It's my granddaughter, Zanaya. And Zanaya, how you doing?
Good.
That's good, sweetie. She's going to be helping me today. We're going to get right into the lesson because it's a big one and it's a timely one as well. It says, what is the source? What is the thing that's really behind all your arguing and your conflicts? James asked that question. He says, I just want to know, have you identified the source that's behind all arguments and conflicts? And so he gets into that and he says, listen, is not the source, say the source.
Source.
There you go, the source, your pleasures that wage war in your members. He says, isn't it true that the source between all your arguments and your conflicts, it's you. It's inside of you. It's the war that wages inside of you. And here's the bottom line. We want our way and we want it now, right? I mean, there's a commercial. You know, it's my money and I want it, say it with me, now, right? And so that's kind of what, you know, it goes with. And he says, listen, isn't the source, the thing behind all of our arguments and our conflicts, it's us. And he goes on to say, he says, for instance, you lust and you do not have, so you commit murder. And you're thinking to yourself, Larry, I've never murdered anyone. When I read this, I thought about King David. You know, David was on top of his throne and on top of his castle or whatever that was that David was in. He looks down, he sees, you know, this woman named Bathsheba, and we know the story. David invites her in, he gets her pregnant. And, because David wanted her, he lusted after her. And as a result of what he did, he decided to eliminate her husband. Oh yeah, we forgot about him. And this guy named Uriah. And so David has him, in essence, murdered so that he can have what he wanted. You know, for us, maybe we haven't physically murdered someone, but we murder them in our mind and in our hearts. You know, it's possible to wish someone dead so that we can either have peace or we can have their possessions. But James is saying, listen, that's not the way that we should handle life. He goes on to say this. He says, not only do we lust, but second of all, he said that we are envious. He said we're envious and we cannot obtain. So here's what we do. So we fight and we argue. You know, we look at someone else's family, for instance, and we say, you know, I wish my kids acted like their kids. And so we want their kids, or we look at their spouse and we say, you know, I wish my husband, you know, took care of himself the way my neighbor's husband takes care of himself. Or we look at our neighbors or our friends, you know, wife, and we say, gee, I wish my wife acted like, you know, she acted. And so, you know, we are envious of what other people have. And it says, and rather than, you know, figuring out how to get it properly, we argue and we fight over it. He goes on to say this. He says, you do not have because you do not ask. And the implication is we don't ask God, the very one who gives us every good gift that we've ever received. We don't ask God. And then he says, and even when you do ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, so that you may spend it on your pleasure. And so here's what James is trying to say as we close up for the day, is James is trying to say, listen, the reason that we don't have everything that we really want is because we by nature are selfish. And God doesn't want to help selfish people. God wants to bless selfless people. And so we're going to kind of talk about that tomorrow, what that means. But here's the challenge I have for us today. Can we just today decide that I'm not going to do anything selfishly, but I'm going to think about the needs of others first today before I act? God bless. Have a great day.